Alialo Nyame, recently we have seen so many issues unfolding back home or in the Gambia. And Ngabaro Jele, he was talking about the media. Media doesn't write anything good about his government. That's one thing. We have seen Ismaila Ceesay, who has turned to be the new spin doctor, also attacking the media, attacking, he has been doing so many things. Human rights activists, journalists, and so on. Come Mbe Alo Nyamendro, this was a guy who, stood and said all the sorts of things up against Barrow and his government. He's clueless, he's incompetent, and so on. But now he turned out to be he's trying to be like I said, the spin doctor, trying to attack people, swallowing all what he said. Like he vomited before and he came back, alo fono be no. But this is the problem we have in Africa. Most of these young people, imala fi batala, but ilafta balunya nyimala. And Ismaila is one of those people. We knew before he became minister, Kabiring Atata Baroya, he has this deep-seated anger towards people, including Madi Jabate and Alaji Sedi Baro, because he said that to people. He has to grind and ask with them. Yeah, so he will go after those people and be attacking them, attacking their personalities. And Ismaila Multimengalonko, his records are not clean. We know. He said here, he was in Europe, I remember so many things that people know. Here is a guy who fall into two categories. Number one, you call yourself an educated guy. You know what educated people do? Let me give an example of professors, university lecturers. Let's say Kenya, Professor Wangari Maathai, the lady behind the Green Belt movement. She planted over millions of trees. She was a lecturer at the university. At the same time, there was a political turmoil in Kenya. Daniel Arap Moi was the president at the time. But she wasn't quiet. She spoke against Daniel Arap Moi. Neighboring Uganda, Idi Amin was the president at the time. Ali Muzuri was a lecturer at Makerere University. The same thing. Ali Muzuri spoke against Idi Amin. Idi Amin, one of the most brutal dictators in our history, because a man who even butchered his wife, put her corpses in a car, drove to Mulago Hospital and deposited the body there. It was also believed that because of Idi Amin's brutality, elephants at Queen Elizabeth National Park in Uganda, they fled, they en masses from Uganda. They went to Democratic Republic of Congo. But Idi Amin Nalo brutality bay, Ali Muzuri spoke against Idi Amin. He had to flee. Going the same Uganda under Yoweri Museveni, Stella Nyanzi also did similar thing. You go even Anish Kapoor, he spoke against. You look at Wole Soyinka, they all spoke against bad leadership. Chinua Achebe, when he started, it was colonialism in Nigeria. Things fall apart. It dealt with the impact of colonialism in Africa. Even back in 1983, he even wrote a memoir, The Trouble with Nigeria. All that is meant to address problems of Nigeria. And 1983, if you open anybody who reads The Problem with Nigeria, the title The Trouble with Nigeria or The Problems with Nigeria, you read that book B. It's like what Chinua Achebe wrote nearly 40 years ago, Olebe Cake and Gambia. Professor Karanal, that's what they do. But it man so far, you swallow all that pride. Media regulate. You attacking journalists. We understand last week too or so, you summoned some journalists in your office, compel them to withdraw their story, to write a rejoinder, or else you will take them to court. If Fulangol, you go to South Africa, Julius Malema, He pulled out of ANC and he was able to gather 10 million people. You go to neighboring Zimbabwe, Nelson Chamisa, from Robert Mugabe time, coming all the way to Emerson Mnangagwa, they all spoke against bad leadership. Abiy Ahmed, he was in his 40s. When Haile Mariam Desalegn stepped aside as the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, he became, I told you, Prime Minister of Ethiopia. So you can count. Uganda, Bobby Wine, we know Dr. Besigye and others stood against Yoweri Museveni. Bobby Wine, a young guy, he stood against another dictator. You cross to a neighboring country, Rwanda, one of the most brutal dictators, vicious guys, Paul Kagame. While I see people do clap for him, Rwanda developed, it's nonsense. So, Daniel Rigara, a 38-year-old lady, is the one who stood against Paul Kagame. Ite be jang iman so far, ibara kantang. Ite alon ko banko mantartaka. Ite menka sika fo funding ke ole ko ha, ni menga chance da lebudia. Alebo ni banko ka, because there is no hope in this country. Ite la kada si radio de ka molneng. Ndala Islam we memfo na dino we memfo na tradition and culture we memfo. Ni muso de la sala. Ika sobe yale ke, ye kuro ke ya fudu. Ala you said Baro did not do anything wrong. Ala Islam won ala culture and values mendiala. That's what he did. He kuro le ke muso fudu. Ede munano, fede ma fede samuta, ede ni muso le be staring in imam memfudu. You should be ashamed of yourself to be attacking people. Going back to some of these young people, if even neighbor in Senegal, Osman Sonko, John Mai, Guy Marissagna, but he left a balunyala, he left a romasi. So you have to be a loose puppy and start going after the people. I know we will tell you this. You know, there are people who try to do this. You cannot regulate the media. And I'm not sure.